Hello, welcome to another episode of Trauma to Triumph, where we will heal millions through the sharing of our real life stories. We are turning wounds into wisdom, one story at a time. On tonight's episode, we have author Truly Maxine, and she is here to tell us about her personal journey of trauma to triumph. Hey, Truly.
Hey, Terry.
Thank you so much for being a part of this project, something that is near and dear to my heart, something that is healing millions of people through the sharing of traumatic life stories.
Yeah.
You're an author now.
Yes.
You are doing some amazing things in the world now as a woman, a woman, a mom, a serial entrepreneur,
yes.
all of those amazing things, but you didn't get to this point easy.
No, not easy at all.
No. And so we want you to talk about your journey of trauma to triumph. And I want you to go back as far as you're comfortable going back. Even sometimes, it starts in childhood. Things that happen in childhood shapes your journey going into being a teenager and a young woman and being an adult. So talk to us about what shaped your journey of trauma to triumph?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me, Miss Terry. I appreciate you. So my story led to me writing some books.
Okay.
And that is current day. But yes, you're right. My trauma started
in childhood. Okay. Well, take us back to
I will.
Truly the little girl.
Yeah. So, the one thing that I must say, to tell my story is to tell someone else's story.
Right.
And my trauma started within my own family.
Okay.
My mother and father, domestic violence. So
okay. So your parents were married?
Married.
Mm-hmm.
So we're a military family.
Okay.
Family met out west. My mom is from the West, so I grew up going back and forth, East Coast, West Coast.
Okay, so you have both sides on you. You have the West Coast, East Coast.
I do.
Okay.
And so my parents were married. Dad straight out of military. They met, fell in love, started a family. And from the beginning, it was rocky.
Okay. Now, did you have siblings?
I do. So there are four of us. Mm-hmm. And so my parents somewhat separated, and my dad came back east, Washington, D.C., mm-hmm. and then got settled and then brought the family over.
Okay.
So the trauma went from the West, really, to the East, the issues. But they were young, mm-hmm. 20s, young 20s, mm-hmm. yes, married and raising a family, starting a family. So there were two of us. I have an older brother.
Okay.
And then me. And then they came to DC and started a life. I have another sister, a younger sister and a younger brother. And, my dad was just fresh out of military, very disciplined, very strict. My mother was wild and free, mm-hmm. with a new family, not really knowing anything, never had traveled outside of the town she grew up in Arizona.
Now, before we go on, I want to ask a question about your mom's side of the family. She's from the West Coast.
Yes.
You said Arizona.
Yes.
Was she close with her mom? Like your maternal grandma, was your mom close with her? Because that I need to know that before we get into the rest of your story.
Yeah, she was.
Okay.
Except my grandmother was somewhat of a worldly woman.
Okay.
And so my mother somewhat grew up with her grandmother,
mm-hmm.
because my grandma was traveling in California and living her life,
right.
because she had my mom young.
Right.
So yes, they were. But they weren't.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you and your parents are now living back on the East Coast.
Yes.
In Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And you're about how old?
5-ish,
okay.
maybe.
All right.
Yeah, I started school in
Talk
DC.
to us about, what life is looking like now. You're on the East Coast. You're a little girl growing up.
Yeah.
And you say your parents, it was tumultuous.
Yeah, so, mom and dad working, mom at home raising the kids, the alcohol flowing on the weekends. It was the 70s,
mm-hmm.
And 70s in DC. So,
Right.
you know, the weed, the alcohol flowing, you know,
Right.
we're a family in a 2-bedroom apartment, and they were just doing the best they could.
Understood.
But just a lot of arguing, a
Okay.
lot of friction all the time.
Between the two of them.
Yes, all the time.
Okay.
So, you know.
Well, did it spill over to the kids? Like, did you all get your dad or your mom? Did y'all get a lot of beatings or anything like that?
No, none of that.
Okay.
You know, and they tried to keep it somewhat contained, you know, oh, go in the bedroom, that kind of thing. But it was known. It was fear, you know, because my dad was loud and boisterous.
Okay.
So even just his voice kept us,
Was a little scary.
everybody, you know,
Okay.
yeah, on pins and needles.
Okay.
Yeah. But, you know, they did a little better for themselves. They moved over into Prince George's County.
Okay.
So, you know, my young years were spent in Prince
DC.
George's County.
Okay, in Prince George's County.
Yeah. And things just got worse, progressively worse. You know, when you're drinking alcohol and trying to raise a family and paying bills and just being stressed. I mean, I get it, right?
Okay.
But that's what it was. That was our life.
Right.
Which at that point was the norm. You know what I mean? Like,
That was
you
the
don't
norm.
know anything else. That's what you know.
That was your norm.
Yeah. So that was the younger years. And eventually it got to a point where my mother left the family. I probably was 9 years old. And,
When you say left, she just
like,
left.
Woke up, Ma is gone. Yeah. Because but years later, to come to know that, you know, she's like, yeah, we had a crazy fight and I was going to kill him and he was going to kill me.
So she had to leave.
I had to do,
And
because she didn't work, so she didn't have money, you know, and so.
And when she left, where did she go? Back to the West Coast?
Well, we didn't, yeah, she eventually, we didn't know for a while, so we
So
were
you're a
in the dark.
9-year-old little girl and you don't even know where your mother is?
No.
And she didn't care to know what was going on with y'all? Her daughters?
Probably, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But remember, back then, regular phones.
Right. That's
you
true.
know, if you are calling long distance, that is collect calls if you don't have money or whatever that scenario is. So we have to
tell me
always
about
go back
what
to
you're
that.
feeling though. Like I'm just remembering going back to when I'm 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Feeling like if my mom is not home.
Yeah. So I'm in charge now.
You're in charge.
I'm the oldest female in the house at that point. And my dad had to work.
Right.
So I'm left to somewhat support my siblings.
Wow.
So yeah. And again, I was very intuitive as a young girl. So always watching my mom cook and things like that before she left. So it was, you know, I figured it out. Like we were latchkey kids.
Wow.
So dad would be gone to work, wouldn't get home until 5 or 6 in the evening. So we, you know, we had keys
You had
to
to
get in
fend
the
for
house.
yourselves.
Walk to school. School wasn't that far, so we all kind of hung out together, and yeah. But I was in charge of the little ones. My older brother was around too, but we had like 4 years apart. So he was, if I was 9, he might have been 13, right? So middle school. So he wasn't with us, meaning the younger ones, right? So it kind of was us three, kind of hanging out together all the time. Yeah, and that went on for years.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how I grew up, just being like taking care of the family and
So
being
those
the
years,
responsible one.
right? And so those years, you know, had its own section of trauma for your life, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one, domestic violence, right? And people don't get this. You don't have to be as a victim just to witness it. You're a victim. Right. As a kid.
Seeing your parents fight.
A lot of people think, oh, the hitting, the physical part is domestic violence. But no, there are many levels. The mental, right? The scarcity as children. So we were already victims. We were already in it, right? From little. And then my mom, which is an abandonment issue. Right?
Absolutely. Again, like I said, I can't imagine being
there.
a 9, 10-year-old little girl and be like, my mom left.
Yeah. Yeah. And it took a long time for us later on to figure out and really have those conversations with my mom.
Right.
And I'm sure it was really hard for her to even try to explain it. How do you explain that? Yeah.
Okay, so talk about, I mean, let's fast forward some.
Yeah.
You know, that's your childhood. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So let's go on to teen years, because that, being left without parenting. So think about that. No, dad working all the time, no mom, right? We had to raise ourselves.
Right.
So we grew up on our own, right? So when you think about being a young girl, learning, so again, my dad was very
Military.
strict, military, do your homework, that kind of thing, right? Okay, so we did it, because what else were we going to do, right? And it was kind of out of fear.
Right.
Right. But when he wasn't there, right, as me growing up as a teenager, I'm sneaking out, going to the roller rink. I'm, going to the local parties. I'm like, I'll be back, talking to my siblings. So I kind of grew up in the street.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I had homegirls, my friends, they clearly they were with their mom and dad. So, some of the mothers in the neighborhood knew what was going on.
Okay.
So they kind of had sympathy on us. You know what I mean? But I kind of had free will to do whatever I wanted to do.
Right.
Because even when my dad wasn't working, he still was a young man. He still was partying and
doing his thing.
He
living
was
his
gone
life.
all the, yes. And that's just what it was, right? So with that being said, I started having sex young. As a young teenager, I was promiscuous. I was looking for love.
Right.
Like any of the
In
young
all the wrong
boys. Because that's that age.
Right.
Somebody look at you, it's like, hey, that's my boyfriend.
Right.
And that's just what it was. And eventually I was a teen pregnancy.
Okay.
I had a teen pregnancy.
So
at 16.
Your first child was 16.
Well, I didn't have the child. I had an abortion.
You had an abortion. Okay.
And that was a whole thing, because by the time I was able to tell my dad, I probably was 14 weeks pregnant.
Oh, wow.
So it was really a baby.
A traumatic.
It was. And I actually almost passed away. They had to do the procedure twice. So that was very traumatic. But for me, there was never a thought of like having a baby. Like, it took a long time for me to even be able to, like, actually my dad, I didn't tell him. One of the girlfriends that he had at the time, I told her and she told him.
Okay.
But I had the procedure, so I figured out how to come up with the money.
I see what you're saying.
And these are the things, I've written about some of this in my books. So, yeah, but it was very traumatic.
Wow.
But I would have rather taken care of that situation than have to deal with my dad, which at the end, he was more understanding than I thought. But it was just the fear of it.
Right.
That almost took me out before the actual procedure almost took me out.
So you never once thought, I'm going to have this baby.
No.
You were like, this is not going to happen.
No.
Right.
Can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was traumatic. And a few more things happened. And at some point in high school, my dad was like, he just showed up at the school and we got a pink slip. And they're like, you've been withdrawn from the school. You need to go to the office. And I was like confused. Like, what do you mean?
Right.
Am I the right person? And went home and my bags was packed. My sister's bag was packed. And he's like, I can't raise girls anymore. I'm sending you west to live with your mother. And the next day we were on a plane.
Oh.
Just like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was traumatic, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So from East Coast to West Coast overnight. Brand new life with my mom. My mom didn't have means. She lived in a 1-bedroom place. She was out there doing the best she could, but it was just total shock.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were separated from my brother, and he was left with my dad, and he had his own life. That's a story right there. But yeah, so then I started my life, finished high school out there in Phoenix, and went to college, right?
Okay.
Got into college, and, by then, a few years, I got acclimated, and, all the boys like me because, again, I'm an East Coast girl in the West.
In the West.
So they were on me, and I'm thinking I'm all her, right? And got into a relationship with a guy who started to abuse me physically,
Wow,
mentally first.
right.
He wanted me to be a certain weight. Now I was already a small thing. But he put these restrictions on me with my eating habits, and just I had to be a certain weight. I couldn't get past this weight. So
Wow.
instead of teen dating, going out for a burger or whatever, it was like, nope, you got to eat salad. You can't have a burger. I'm gonna have a burger. I'm gonna have a steak or whatever. But you gotta watch your weight. But he was an older guy. So if I'm 17,
so
he was 21.
Okay.
He was already in college, somewhat established as a man. But I like that. He had a car. He was one of those guys that the girls like. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking that's love until he hit me.
Wow.
He hit me randomly at a basketball game because he said, you're looking at these other guys. You need to look at me while I'm playing. And I'm like, whoa. Like, it was so mind blowing. And I, at the time, thinking back, I should have told my mother because she knew what that was. And I didn't. I hid that.
You hid it. So that was just the first time.
That was the first time. So
And
then there
you-
may have been 2 or 3 more times until I was like, yeah, no, this isn't. Yeah, I'm not doing this.
Okay.
Because I knew what I had been through.
Right.
With my own mother
Seeing
and
that.
father. And and I wrote about this too. And I hate to keep referring back, but
No,
I know
it's
we don't
fine.
have a lot of time to go
No, it's
into
fine.
so much detail. But I broke up with him, and he shot himself. He didn't die, but he shot himself. And then he blamed me because he said, you left me. And
Wow.
then I felt sorry for him. And so that brought me back to him. Now, keep in mind, I'm in college, so I'm supposed to be at school. I'm working. I have a car by then. I'm college.
Right.
He stayed in the hospital probably, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months. Can't remember
time.
exactly, but I spent my life going to school, going to the hospital, going to work, doing that every
cycle.
day instead of enjoying college.
Enjoying the college life.
Yeah, and so, yeah, that was my life. I did that probably a year till he got out and somewhat was being getting healed, in a way. And then I finally was like, yeah, no.
Then you let that go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Good for you.
yeah.
Good for you. And so now you're still out on the West Coast.
Still in the West, still going to school. But there's a lot happening in DC then. So if I can go back to a year, it probably was like 87, 88. That was like in the beginnings of the crack era.
Yeah, sure was.
And my brother had some stuff going on. And I would come back to visit. And this is when, go-go was in, hey, listen, DC was booming
Yes.
in the sense of everybody had money, everybody had cars, everybody was doing something. And that was exciting for me. You know what I'm saying? It was
imagine.
exciting. But I knew I had to go back because I had to go to school. But eventually when I got out of school, I went back. I came back to DC.
Okay.
And started my life and my work career and that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So life, the whole time, life was just like, listen, I got through that. I'm going to keep moving.
Right.
I got through that. I'm going to keep moving. Just keep going. Keep going.
Keep going.
Right. And again, seemed normal to me. Cry, get past it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Keep going.
That's it. No. And I think back, there's no therapy then. There's no.
People didn't do therapy back then anyway.
Not
really.
Yeah, and I don't really remember people being around to just really love me and support me and say, wow, I see what you're going through. I I have other family in Pittsburgh. So that's one piece that I didn't speak on. Growing up over the years when my mom was gone, we would go to my grandma's house in Pittsburgh during the summer.
Okay.
And so we spent 3, 4, 5 years in Pittsburgh before we were sent to the West. So yeah, I have a lot of connections up there. A lot of cousins, a lot of aunties, you know. So I have some adventures in Pittsburgh too.
Right.
So yeah, so yes, I had that kind of love from grandma. So grandma and aunties were like mother figures, but that was just bits and pieces.
Right.
Yeah, so I mostly just grew. So I was back to my dad's, under his roof. Hey, you here? You got work? You know, all the things, and it was fine until it wasn't.
Yeah. So now you're in your
20s,
you're an adult, right?
Young 20s, young 20s, and met my daughter's father, my oldest daughter.
Your oldest daughter. Okay.
Yeah, and so we hooked up, and I moved out and had my own place and stuff like that, and had her, and you know, but I wasn't married. You know, I still was kind of wild and free and moving and shaking and all the things. But I got through that, and I had a really great job, private firm, law firm.
Okay.
Great job, making money, you know, living. You know, time goes on. I meet another guy.
Okay.
I spent my life meeting men.
That's all right.
Listen,
keep trying.
Yes, yeah. So, first husband comes along. You know, I'm approaching 30-ish. And he was a good guy, but we were just young. You know, when we talk about marriage to me at that point was just, you know, the ladies at the office, everybody has a ring, you know, 30-year-old. By the time you hit 30, you know, in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to have another kid out of wedlock. I want to get married and have a family. And so I did.
Right.
And, you know, we lasted 11 months. But from that union came my second daughter.
Right.
And she's amazing. And life goes on. And, you know, there's just a lot that was happening in between. I started to hang out at happy hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I grew
outside.
up.
You was living.
Yeah, I was. And again, when you work corporate and you know this, you know, there's a lot of happy hours, a lot of meetings and a lot of happy hours.
Yeah.
So just, you know, having a drink here, having a drink there, to a point where I got to where I'm having a bottle at the house.
Right.
In the evening.
Starting to be more excessive with it.
Yes. And just really drinking to cope with the voices in my head. You know what I mean? Just like the hurt, the pain, the why me's. I don't understand.
Right.
You know, I'm smart. I'm beautiful. Why is my life not? Why am I not happy?
Right. So you were at a point where you're like, I'm not happy.
And you know what? I always had those questions, even from young. Like, why can't things be beautiful? Why don't I feel excited? Why am I not? Somebody told me years later, you never used to smile as a kid.
Wow.
Never even thought about it.
Right.
You know, family members would be like, yeah, you were really angry growing up. And I'm like, was I?
Possibly.
It just was the norm.
You know, seeing your parents go through what they went through.
Yeah. It was the norm.
Internally, you weren't happy.
No. Yeah. Never knew happiness.
Right.
I'm just learning happiness now.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, so I got through that. So that marriage didn't work.
Right. 11 months.
11 months. And at some point, I decided I just needed a change. I need to get out of D.C.
Okay.
Quit my job, moved to North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, probably around 1999-ish.
Okay.
Started a new life. Actually, my dad had a job. My dad is an engineer. Oh, he was an engineer. And so he had this big job down there. And so I had gone to visit at some point. And so that was my first introduction to North Carolina. And it just was quiet and comfortable and love. To me, I equate North Carolina, down home living, family. That's love.
It's more love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a few years and met a man, another man. And he was good to me in the beginning, me and my girls. And yeah, he had some secrets going on that I didn't know about that I found out later on. And he was a little violent, very boisterous, very controlling. And again, later on, as I got into my therapy, I realized I'm drawn to men that are like my father.
Yeah, I'm seeing the pattern.
Yes, and he was. And I got pregnant. We had a few incidents while I was pregnant, fighting incidents.
Okay.
And
Now, this fighting, is he hitting you or you're fighting back? So we're fighting or is he hitting you?
listen, my mouthpiece was vicious at that time. And really, honestly, probably forever. Not now, but
Right, during those years.
yeah, it was. But still, that's not an excuse. But yes, he's fighting me, kicking me.
But do you
punching
throw
me.
hands? Do you fight back?
No.
No.
I probably got to a point where I'm just freezing, or covering
just trying to-
myself, but not.
Not fighting back.
No, not that.
Right. Okay.
And not that. And again, to think back on that, I had some bullying issues growing up in school and stuff like that. And I would fight in school, but I don't know why I wasn't fighting these
wouldn't
men.
fight back.
I would just freeze.
Right. I mean, it's not normal for a woman to fight a man anyway. So I was just curious because there are sometimes domestic violence relationships where it's both the woman and the man throwing hands.
Yeah.
And it's just the best one wins, whatever night it is, you know?
Yeah, no, it wasn't
Okay.
that. It was me talking smack and then
Right.
it escalating
Right.
to a physical thing. And
Okay.
then, yeah.
Okay. So did you all have a child together?
We did. My
Okay.
third daughter.
Your third daughter. Okay.
Yes, we did. And she's amazing as well. So I have 3 daughters.
3 girls. I love it.
I used to think that God was punishing me to give me those 3 daughters because that little baby that I had was a boy. And that was something that I struggled with for years.
The baby that you aborted at like 14 weeks.
Yeah, it was a boy.
Was a real baby.
That doctor told me that. Like,
was a
that
boy.
doctor was, I felt like he was mean to me, like just spiteful. And yeah, he told me that. And so that bothered me for the longest. And I had forgiven myself, you know. But my girls are amazing. Oh my gosh, they are all amazing. They all have pieces of me.
God's grace and
Yes.
mercy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is God's grace.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you got through that. You've got 3 daughters. You've raised them.
Yeah.
And things.
Yeah.
after
And by
that-
then I'm back. I'm back in the DMV
Okay.
and supporting my mom. So my mom with her amazing self. And again, I started to have to look at her for who she was and accept her.
And understand her
And
journey.
all the things. And she would have conversations with my sister and I. And again, as I grew into my womanhood and started dealing with life and having my girls and just living, and she used to say, just keep living. And the healing started.
Okay.
And so my mom moved back here to the East Coast to support my sister and I while we were going through our marriages and having
Right.
babies and all the things. So she was around in my older years.
Okay.
And I want to say that probably was 30s. Yeah, 30s up to 40 maybe. And then she got sick. So I came back from the Carolinas to support her. And that wasn't easy. You know what I mean? Like I had to take my girls out of school and move them around a little bit. And it's like I thought I was doing the right thing.
Right.
You know, but I had to struggle with how do you take care of a parent that didn't take care of you? Right. So that was something that I dealt with.
Yeah.
And still deal with, because
Right.
I'm taking care, helping support, take care of my dad now.
How do you take care of a parent who didn't take care of you?
Yeah.
Because
That's a mental mind F.
yeah, I know. But you know, it's because we have to.
Yes. He says so.
Even if our parents are some shit,
Yes.
we are still obligated to honor them.
Yes. Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not easy.
It's not. I'm sure it's
easy.
not.
Yeah. So, you know, we got through that, and, you know, I in and out of other relationships, short term. And again, back to the bottle.
Drinking.
So the whole time, really, I'm
Drinking.
sipping, you know, little Grey Goose martinis and my, you know, red wine, and really just in the bottle. And it was the norm. It was my coping mechanism.
So do you feel like you were borderline alcoholic?
For sure. Well, so this is the thing. This is when I thought I was. Now, I don't think people, and I know this because when I released my book, the first one, I Am Who I Think I Am When Intoxicated, people were confused. Like my family members, ex-co-workers, just people. Like, what do you mean? You're like an alcoholic? Like, because I wasn't.
You were a functioning
I
alcoholic.
was a functioning alcoholic.
Right.
Right. And I'm going to say I am. I'm not
are.
going to say was. I'm going to say I am, right?
You're going to say you are right now
yes.
a functioning.
I'm going to say that, even though
Okay.
I don't drink
Okay.
now, right?
Right.
I got sober 7 years ago.
Yay!
But I realized I was, number one, I started having blackouts. Which was scary as heck when you wake up and don't know what you did the night before.
Right.
Like you're calm and everything is good, but that's a sign, right?
Yeah.
And also I got a DUI on a random when I was living in the Carolinas. I came upon a speed trap, and I had been coming from an event. It was daylight,
Right.
a 4:00 event, and I had a few drinks, and probably had 3 drinks.
Okay.
Maybe 4.
Okay.
But in my mind, I'm good.
You
I'm
good.
driving home. You know, I mean, I don't know if you know, but there's tunnel vision. I know where I'm going. I was living in the country at that time, so it was easy to get home. And I had to deal with that. I had to deal
DUI.
get locked up. I had to deal with getting through the ticket. I had to deal with my license getting suspended
they lock
for a
you up?
year. Yeah, I got locked up. I couldn't walk that line.
Yeah. Wow.
I couldn't walk that line. Wow. Yeah. So, but again, I knew on the inside, like, I gotta change my life because I didn't like myself. I was a mean drunk. Does that make, some people are mean and some people are free flowing.
Right. But you were a mean
I was
one.
mean because I had all that stuff that had never been dealt with. And so I was mean to my husbands. I was mean. Did I go back to the other marriage? I must have skipped a marriage.
Maybe.
I had 2 marriages.
Okay.
Somewhere in between, I married again and was married for 5 years. Somebody local to the DMV.
Okay.
And that marriage was decent, but I just wasn't a good wife.
You were an unhappy person inside.
Very
And when
unhappy.
you're unhappy inside, you're ugly inside,
Listen.
you're never going to be good for anyone else.
You're right. And I realized that, and he realized that. And we were adult enough to say, yeah, no, this is not working.
Right.
So, yeah, I kind of skipped over that, but it's in the book.
So alcoholism really was kind of like taking its toll on your life.
It was.
Okay.
To a point where I was tired of living.
Wow.
Yeah, I was tired of living. And so over the years, I've had some health issues, back issues, stuff like that. And I had a lot of muscle relaxers and just pills around. And one night I had my glass of wine and that bottle, and I'm like, this is it. I can't do it no more. I was home by myself. My girls were gone. And I said, this is it. I wrote little notes, little stickies all over the room, like just like directing my daughters, do this and do this and do this. And that was it. I was ready. And I lay down. And I don't know, maybe 6 hours later, I just woke up. And I knew that was God. I knew that was God. And do you know, when I got up to go to the bathroom, there was a trail of pills all the way to the bathroom.
Wow.
And I said right there, God brought me back. I got to change my life. I got work to do.
Right.
And that was when I got sober, 2018.
I was going to ask you, did you hit rock bottom? What did it take for you to finally say?
That was that.
It was that day.
Yeah, because I didn't want to live anymore.
Wow.
And I knew God brought me back to live, and I had work to do.
2018.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how difficult was it to stop drinking? What's that process like?
At that point, it wasn't. But I knew that I needed assistance, meaning to get my mind right. Because I had read some books earlier that year. There's a book, Michael Singer, the author, he has a book called The Untethered Soul. And it is about controlling and figuring out your mind. Like your mind has a mind of its own. And that those voices, because we all talk to ourselves, whether we admit it or not. We talk in our head to ourselves. You can control that. You're supposed to live a happy, amazing, beautiful life. But you have to seek that through God. That's the only way. You got to be happy and love yourself.
Yep.
And so I knew that I needed to figure out how to do that. I didn't know. The people around me didn't know. Or I didn't want the people around me. I didn't want to have to go and say, hey, Dad, or hey, my sister, like we're all in the same dysfunction. How they going to help me?
Right.
And I saw a therapist, and I went through 2 or 3, and then
until you found the right one.
I found an amazing behavioral clinical therapist who could help me unpack my trauma.
Right.
And get to the bottom of why my behaviors were what they were. And that took me back to that young girl and that life that I grew up in. Yeah. And then went forward. So just started unpeeling the layers of trauma. Yes.
And it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight.
No.
So your transition from trauma to triumph started with just layers, like an onion, peeling the onion layers off.
Yes. And that's not easy, because you got to look at yourself.
Right.
And you got to say, you know what? First of all, you got to talk about it. And reveal those things that had been in my head the whole time. And crying and really just
going through the process.
And it's a process. And I probably started weekly, and then it moved to monthly. And still today, I still see my therapist. It's a gift to myself. I owe that. It's an investment for me to be the best person I can be.
Yeah.
And so, and I deserve that.
Yes, you do.
I deserve to be happy.
Yes, you do.
I deserve love.
Yes.
I didn't even know what love is. I figured out all of those years and those relationships and those babies. Like, yes, a baby is love. Was I being the best? I didn't even know how to be a mother for real. Like, I knew how to provide.
Right.
But I didn't know those
how to
nurturing techniques or skills. I didn't, I'm still learning now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's never too late.
No. And so now the relationships that I have with my daughters are amazing.
Amazing.
Right? They're all grown. And, even the exes, like We're good. We're solid. You know, those other people in between that I had issues with, you know, I don't speak to them. I don't have any communication, you know, even with my daughter's father. Like, once I got out of that situation, it's just nothing. Like, I had this beautiful daughter, but that was it.
Yeah. And so tell us about the healing process you went through with writing your book.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. So that was something else, right? It took me 10 years, really, to birth the first book. And really, it's really a 2-part book, a memoir, right? There was so much. And I have always been a writer, always writing in journals. And, you know, even young, like, you know how we used to have diaries? So diaries, just writing out my feelings and being real, holding them close to my chest.
Right.
So I had already, years before, maybe in 2012, maybe. Yeah. 10 years before the first book was released, I sat down at my computer and like, I'm writing a book. Because people would always say to me, girl, you going through all this, you should write a book. And I, you know, in the beginnings of that, I would be like, no, I'm not telling all my business. I'm not jumping out here telling other people's business. Because again, I knew
You
that.
got to tell about other people
I got to
too.
tell other people's situations that led, you know, that I got to tell somebody else's story. And it does not feel good, especially when it's your parents.
Right.
So, but it was in me and I knew I had to do it. And so I had to start having conversations, right? With my mother, with my father, with my siblings. Like, listen, y'all.
This is what I'm doing.
I'm going to write this book. I've been writing it, but I'm like really going to write it. And just a series of circumstances led me to this amazing group of women down in Atlanta, this publishing company. And they helped me to unpack everything I had written, you know, outline it, put that thing together.
I love it.
Listen, we came up with a plan to have a series of books.
Yes.
And the first one was released in October 2022.
Okay.
And then I went on a tour of the nation. I did some book signings and it felt so good. I was like free.
Yeah, liberating.
So liberated.
Yeah.
It was really good. And then a lot of opportunities that I did not expect started to come to me.
You see that?
A lot of speaking engagements, a lot of requests to come to women's shelters and women's groups. And I had even joined this amazing group in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I eventually moved back to. Started teaching and presenting to high school students in health class about teen dating and domestic violence and unhealthy behaviors and all the things.
Finally walking in your purpose. You know that you had to go through all of the things you went through in order to be who you are today. God cannot use anything if you haven't gone. He can't use it if he don't let you go through it.
Yeah.
How can he? How can you be believable and say, I can help you recover from alcoholism if you haven't been through it?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anybody about recovering from divorce if you've never been married.
Yes.
It needs to be believable.
Yes.
How can it be if you haven't experienced?
Yes.
He chooses his strongest ones to allow you to go through those things. But he kept you.
Yeah, he did.
As we can all see.
Yeah.
And look at you now.
Oh my gosh. I'm feeling good.
Look at you now.
Oh my God.
Look at you now. I go from crying to look at you now.
I'm telling you. And it's, you know, that thing that people say, you know, you don't look like what you've been through.
You don't look like what you've been through. Hell no. Look at you.
That's real.
Yes.
That's real. And it really takes, and it's not easy. It's not easy to sit here and talk about this.
Of course not.
But it's a must. I cannot not do it.
Think about the number of people that are going to watch this that have gone through trying to beat alcoholism and they still can't.
Yeah.
Trying to be the good mom that they know that they need to be.
Yeah.
All of the things that you have gone through and your testimony is going to help so many people. I promise you that.
Yeah, I know that.
And so I'm so very grateful for your yes. I'm grateful for you allowing God to use you the manner in which he does.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for your transparency, your braveness, all of it.
Thank you. Because I don't always feel brave, right?
It's okay.
I don't always feel courageous. I just, that thing, keep going.
Yeah,
Keep going. Right.
You got it in you.
Yeah, well, and there was a point where it wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
But the things that have happened from 2018 to now, 2025, and in my mind, I'm like, I would have missed all of this.
Yeah.
Man, I got to tell people.
You got to.
Don't do it. Hold on. Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right.
You're living proof.
I am.
Okay.
And listen, opportunities come to me. Money comes to me. I do other things in my life other than writing. I live in an abundant life. It's so good. It's so good.
You see how God rewards you?
Yes.
He kept you for a reason.
Yeah.
Truly.
That feels good.
Okay.
I'm loved.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for being a part of Trauma to Triumph. Thank you so much for contributing your testimony to something so very important. We are turning wounds into wisdom, girl. One story at a time.
We
Thank
are.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. I love you.
I love you too. We did it.
Yes.
This is my time.